All right, everyone, welcome to another edition of What's What BR. We have a new guest with us today that we haven't had on the show before. We have Mallorie Frelich. How are you, Mallorie?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. Um, hey, thanks for making some time. Everybody's got a million things to do. We were talking about that earlier. It's just so busy these days.
Right.
So,
Thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate you making some time.
absolutely. Well, you are with Pelican State Federal Credit Union, what I've described as the kind of sleeper credit union that people, you know, like the breadth. What is it? I guess what is the starting off? What do you do there? And what is most people know a credit union, but you guys got a little things different there.
Right. So I'm the marketing specialist here at Pelican. I've been here for almost 2 years. Pelican is a really cool place. We opened our doors in 1956 as the Department of Hospitals Credit Union in downtown Baton Rouge, with our membership really being Louisiana charity hospitals, mental health centers, and state office personnel. In 1988 is when we became Pelican State Credit Union, as you know us today, just to better represent our expanding field of membership in the state of Louisiana. Today, we're actually the largest state chartered credit union in the state of Louisiana with 18 locations and growing, and a little over 65,000 members. So we're serving a lot of people in our community, all under the mission of just spreading financial wellness throughout the state.
That's amazing. That's something I noticed on the website for you guys, and that's a big. I'd had some meetings. I think we mentioned it, with some of the leadership over there, a while back. But it was interesting. I remember towards the end of the meeting talking about it. It was like, hey, we've talked about a lot of things in this meeting, but none of it wasn't about, growth, even though growth was exploding. It was all about this financial wellness. It was about how do we educate people? How do we help people in the community? How do we teach them? And even then it was classes that were going on. It was, working with even, young kids in some of the programs at the time. So
Absolutely.
what is that, that you guys are doing, and what makes that, it seems different, but different usually is winning these days. So
Right. So a lot of people don't know that Louisiana ranks last in financial literacy. So, our adults and the youth in our communities really don't have a grasp of how to better their financial situations or make financially well decisions. So our mission is to improve the lives of our members through safe and competitive products and financial services, and then offer, the products that we're offering is really in alignment with that commitment. All of our members have access to our free financial credit counseling with our nationally certified credit counselors. This gives them the opportunity to learn about how to create a budget, how to improve your credit score and what even is a credit score, and then how to just set financial goals and achieve it. So whether that's home ownership, purchasing your first car, just giving our members the tools to make those dreams a reality in their finances. We're also hosting a lot of virtual financial wellness workshops. Those used to be in person, but of course, COVID kind of shifted that a little bit. But we're grateful because it actually gives us the opportunity to reach more people across the state at one given time. So we're always offering these membership. Actually, it's open to our members and non-members, but it's just a workshop, whether it's owning the home buying process or budgeting for babies. It gives relevant topics people have questions on really frequently, giving them the opportunity to ask those questions live in person, get answers from a certified credit counselor, and kind of get those building blocks together to, improve their financial wellness in the future.
So tell me, I've got one question. I'm going to derail us backwards a little bit, but afterwards. But what is for the regular person who doesn't know, the difference in a bank and a credit union?
So we are not for profit. So all the profits that come in through our credit union, through memberships and loans and all the, what a normal bank to be, all those go back to our members. That's really the premise of our Pelican Pays initiatives. We want to make sure that, we have to have money to employ our employees, obviously, but all those funds that can be are given back to our members. So we're always having free workshops. We're able to give higher dividends and lower rates to our members to make sure that, we're giving back to them as much as possible while giving them the best products and services available to them.
So I guess that goes, well, I was hoping would roll us back into where this, the budgeting tools and the calculators and the wellness programs, all this stuff that you guys are putting together. I think a lot of times people look at, I think they'll merge, kind of the banks, they call it, they say, I'm going to the bank. Well, it's really a credit union. But at the end of the day, they think that it's not obtainable, right? Like that's maybe a big business thing. Like I don't have a bank. I don't know anybody. Or,
Right.
I've heard a lot of people even say, well, what good does it, do for me anymore? If I need a loan, it's just a computer that's calculating or just crunching the numbers, those kind of things. But that's not necessarily the case, right?
Right. We're
It's
definitely in the relationship building process. We don't want to just be one transaction with our members. We want to make sure we're their financial family for life and we're with them through every stage of their financial journey, whether they're just starting out with their first checking account or they've been through financial hardships. It really means a lot to our team who has a heart for service to make sure that we're making an impact and we're not just a face on the screen or a chat through the computer. We really want to make sure that we're touching our communities and really making an impact.
So when you mentioned, that, helping those people and be able to come in and sit with, let's just face it, I know the big banks don't necessarily have anybody, or I try not to. I'm more of a smaller community bank, credit union kind of person. You guys have got these, you mentioned the certified credit, counselors that are able to really sit. So it's, I remember somebody told me one time, you don't want to go walk into the bank when you're desperate and need money. You don't want to go walk into the, when you're in that rough spot. So it's like build that relationship on the front end. And if you have that, the pregnancy coming, the first baby, and then the first house or the first new car, that's stuff that don't wait till the day you went walking around on a lot or you found the house that you like. It's come work with somebody so that you can hit those milestones. And that's what they're there for, right?
Right. They are definitely some of the smartest people that I've ever met. Just so, goal oriented and, really compassionate about each person's financial situation. They want to make sure that whether you have $1 in savings or $1,000 in savings, that everybody's getting that special treatment and they're being treated the same because everybody's goals are going to be different. Everybody's situations are different. So making sure that, each tip that we're sharing really is, giving you the tools that you need to have a successful future, because there's so many resources out there now that aren't being taken advantage of or aren't even aware of that really can help you have a great future. And the biggest thing is just to get started, whether you are in that preparing phase or whether you are in a hard financial situation, our credit counselors are there to help you kind of get over that threshold and kind of start your financial future fresh.
And so is there a wall that separates them from the rest of the credit union to where they're just kind of there to help, or are they able to, hey, we're here to help, but we can also introduce you. Let me take you to, and I don't want to say advocate for somebody, because at the end of the day, there is dollars and cents and, it's a business, at the end of the day, but they're not there to be your lobbyist. I get that, but they can help, I guess.
Yeah, they can definitely advocate for our members. You set up a private meeting with them. Like I said, if you're a member, it's completely free service to take advantage of, kind of evaluate your situation, and then they can look and see, okay, what are your next steps? If you're wanting to apply for a home loan, what's standing in your way of getting there? So they'll give you tips and tricks to, improve your credit score or have more in savings before you take that next step. And they can definitely help advocate you through the process to make sure that, you're making the smart decisions as you go. And it's really giving you the tools to own your finances.
Yeah. And I think that's important because your finances drive your goals, and your finances, a lot of these things intertwine. Right. And I think a lot of people just don't understand what's the first step. Like if you sit down, I've done this exercise with a lot of people, and you'll find people, whether they make the $1 a year, they make 10 million a year, but what's the goal? What are you doing this for?
Right.
Where are you trying to get to? And it's like, let's do some back of the napkin, math. What is it you want? Oh, I want the condo in Orange Beach, or I want the lake house, or I want a new car. It's like, well, now we've got what we're shooting for. Now let's backwards in how to get there. And I'm assuming that's where these counselors would come in. They're going to be able to say, well, if you want that other house, you're going to need, an income of this. And hey, we need to take care of some of these debts, to get that loan to value or debt to income ratio down. They're going to help you kind of walk through that, and then almost like an accountability partner, maybe. Sounds
absolutely. And I mean, it's very easy to have a dream, but a dream is just a dream unless you make it a goal, and you have to have actionable steps to attain that goal. And that's what they're there for, to kind of see, what's practical in your finances now, what can we get you to, and 2, 3, 5, 10 years, and really just make sure that you're actively hitting your goals and setting yourself up for success. because anything's possible if you just, make a plan to get there.
No, and I was going to kind of jump off of this, but the last piece I was going to bring was, I think too many times, and I use the example because it seems like, and I mentioned this the other day at my office, we're about to hit what I call like the beach season, where either like everyone we know is either going to the beach, at the beach, or just got back from the beach. So, and so I say this a lot of times, like a lot of times you'll hear people like, oh, I want a condo down in Orange Beach or in Destin, or I want to do that. And it's like, what's, if you really, push, well, what's stopping you? Well, I'll never be able to do that. Well, what if you went and had a meeting with somebody, like one of these counselors, even if you're nowhere near, but at least if you set the meeting, had the conversation and go, here's what it is. And if you said, well, I couldn't do that, maybe in 5 or 10 years. Well, if you had the meeting now and in 5 or 10 years, you worked it, that's how you actually make it happen. Don't just go, well, I'm going to do it in 5 or 10 years. And then in 5 or 10 years, you're in no different of a place than you are right now.
Right.
So it's getting in there, having some of those conversations and going, okay. And I would assume that gets down to not just pie in the sky. It's going, okay, well, Mr. Smith, you're going to need to have a down payment. If you want to spend this much here, you need a down payment of this. Let's back it out for 5 years. If you could put, X number of dollars into this account that we can open for you,
right,
and just keep doing it. As soon as the check comes, move it straight to that account. Every check, move this much. And in 5 years, we'll have the down payment.
Absolutely.
Those are things that make these things obtainable at the end of the day.
I mean, we know that if financial literacy is such a problem with adults in Louisiana, we know it's going to, generationally be a problem with the youth as well, which is why we provide so many free resources to parents to be able to start that conversation of financial wellness with their kids. So we have our Team Pelican youth savings accounts, where it's a savings account for kids 17 and under, and we pay them for their good grades. So, you're making high grades in your report cards, you bring that into the branch, and we'll give you $1 for your A's. And while it seems small, it's teaching the kids, I have to be accountable for my actions, and with that, accountable for my finances. And then we have, teen checking accounts. So those kids who are on the cusp of becoming adults and maybe moving out on their own and going to college, teaching them the responsibility of, being independent with their finances, having a debit card, making smart transactions. Sometimes you might want to go out to eat with your friends, but your card notes do. So rationalizing those decisions and giving parents still the control to be involved in finances, but just giving them the tools to kind of make that transition smooth for their kids.
And I think it's funny you mentioned that, because I spent the other night, I have 3 kids, but I have some 9-year-old twin boys, and one of them, him and I sat in the kitchen the other night, and I was working, trying to not rationalize, but trying to get him to understand the difference in a debit card and a credit card. Mm-hmm. And in his mind, they were the same. It didn't make a difference. And I'm like, no, it's a very, very big difference. And
they think this, you swipe and money comes out, no matter where it's from.
Right. And so, but I was thinking about it, and then when you were just talking here, I was like, I probably didn't get through the conversation, but I'm not that worried about it because he's not. But that would be something where one of these counselors, because I think I tried it, not because I had nothing better to do, but I think it's very important for him to learn the difference. I would rather him, save money, have money, spend the money than to, necessarily go, just use it on a credit card, or to think the difference. And I feel like if I can start that at a young age, which it sounds like you guys are doing, to where those little bitty things make big changes in the way people, grow up. Because if I can get him, I don't think I ever had anyone sit down with me in a conversation and go, okay, well, here's a debit card, here's a credit card, here's the difference, here's what this, here's what compounding interest is, and all that kind of stuff. I didn't have those conversations. So
a few good habits start off in the beginning really makes all the difference for a good financial future and good habits.
Absolutely. Well, tell me this. One of the things, I had a couple things that I wanted to run through. First was, we had talked about kind of you guys being the kind of sleeper credit union, not necessarily, but you guys have moved, couldn't be that recently, into this new facility, this monster facility over off of O'Neill Lane, right?
Yes, we moved back in 2020. So we relocated our corporate campus from Sherwood Forest Boulevard to O'Neill Lane. We have a new corporate campus, and we also added an O'Neill Lane branch here as well to better serve our members in the Baton Rouge community. So it's really cool because our new corporate campus is Louisiana's first well-registered project. And it's complete with a ton of features that encourage a healthy, ergonomic environment for the Pelican employees here. We have things like a fitness center, walking paths, multi-purpose common areas for large and small group collaboration, clean air filters, all kinds of stuff to just make this a really good, healthy working environment. But our Pelican members also have access to that in our branch because it's attached to our corporate campus. So they'll find like antimicrobial surfaces, convenient wayfinding across campus. So it's really easy to find what you're looking for, flexible seating, tons of natural light. And then the new building is just a state-of-the-art branch as well. And it offers a drive-through, 24-hour ATM, and a full-service lobby to help all of our members' financial needs.
And a lobby, I think that's a big deal with real people.
Right. Real people. Not having to talk virtually. We know a lot of the future of, financial institutions is going virtual, which is great for those who don't want to have to take the time to come to a branch. But we do realize there are still people who want to come in and see an actual face and do business face to face. So having that is still really important to us. So any of our branches should pop in.
I went to a big bank, not a credit union here in town, but I walked into there and a guy was like, "Hey, how are you doing?" And I was like, "I just need to make a deposit." I don't bank there. I was making a deposit for somebody else. And they were like, "Well, you need to go to the machine over there." I'm like, "Where's the people?" And he was like, "Well, what do you mean what people?" I'm like, "Where's the teller? Like, where can I want to just hand it to somebody?" And they were like, "No, you need to go over there." And I'm like, "Really? Is this really what we're doing now?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's so much better." I'm like, "I guess, but I think that's better for you than for me." So, but, so anyway, with that said, what about, you'd mentioned, giving back and, teaching the members and, it's not a for-profit, that kind of thing. You guys have us reading somewhere, this Pelican Pay Fest, or where, fill me in here. What is going on?
So we are so excited to be having a Pelican Pays Festival here. It's going to be a spring festival at our corporate campus. So kind of the meaning behind that, we truly believe that it pays to be a Pelican member. From our high reward checking accounts and low rates to the free community events and restaurant takeovers that we offer across the state, we are truly committed to prioritizing the investment of our members and that they're making with us. We want them to know that we appreciate them choosing our credit union to be their financial family for life. And any chance that we have to give back to them is something that's super important to us. So we kind of had this idea of a festival here at campus to kind of celebrate the new branch and our new corporate campus, but also as a way just to kind of have a big block party basically for the Baton Rouge community. So we're going to be having Pelican Pays Festival on Saturday, March 26th from 10 to 3 here at 2675 O'Neill Lane in Baton Rouge. We're going to have a Ferris wheel, hot air balloon rides, petting zoo, different carnival games, balloon animals, face painting, you name it, we're probably going to have it. It's going to be the best time.
Wow. That sounds like a lot of work.
Look, we love it.
A lot of work.
We've been planning for a while. We know that's going to be even bigger and better than we expected it to be. So
right there on O'Neill, and for anybody, y'all are on O'Neill. What, closer to I'd say closer to South Hills Ferry? Is that, or kind of maybe right in the middle?
Yeah, if you're coming from the interstate, we're right past the Walmart. About maybe half a mile to a mile on the left. You can't miss the building. It's huge with a big Pelican State Credit Union sign. So
is there going to be a guy checking to make sure you're a member as you walk in? Is this a members only?
So it's actually open to the community. So, whether you're a member, whether you're a non-member, completely open to the public. We will have a few member benefits there. So, for example, if you're a current member or you open a membership the day of the festival at the branch, we're going to have a cash machine. So you can actually stick your hand in and grab cash and take whatever you can just for free, just as a thank you for actually being a member. There'll be a few things that you have to pay for, like food, games if you want to, but the majority of the events there are free. And it's just our way to kind of give back. Our goal for the majority of our events is to make sure that families can come out, have a fun, free, safe day without even having to bring their wallets. So you can definitely come, even if you don't want to spend a dime, you can come and have a great time with the family.
That's as we've said some similar things in our company, that we're partners with our people, even when they're not writing us a check. Right.
Absolutely.
So that is, when is it again? March 20?
Yeah, Saturday, March 26th from 10 to 3.
March 20, 10 to 3. No need to register for beforehand. Just pull up, probably park somewhere safe because there'll be a line, I'm sure.
Right. Yeah, we'll have
The way it
big
sounds.
traffic and stuff, but we'll have plenty of parking here. And yeah, it's going to be a great time. We're so excited. We'll have big balloon arches and a big sign by the road. So you'll have no trouble finding us. That's for sure.
And let's just face it, the building's easy to spot too. It's
right. You can't miss it.
Probably one of the biggest, not bigger than a Walmart, but other than Walmart, I don't know, probably you guys are probably the biggest building, right?
Right. Definitely second to Walmart, I would say.
So, well, that is amazing. Seems like we went through 65,000 members, 18 locations across the state, been around since the 50s, rebrand. You guys are just, like I said, Sleeper is going crazy. And so now it's just a matter of telling the story and getting more people. And sounds like an overall theme is kind of a pay it forward and educate and help people make better decisions, or not that they need to make better decisions, but educate them to make the right decisions even.
Absolutely.
So, well, that's amazing. I appreciate you spending some time with us today and filling us in, and hopefully we can get enough people there to make a dent. So,
right. Thanks so much, Brandon. I appreciate it.
Awesome. We'll have to have you come back afterwards and tell us how it went.
Yeah, I definitely would love that.
Awesome. We'll talk soon again. Thank you.
Thanks.